Meet Sarah and Samantha.
Two cousins obsessed with exploring the vast pop culture landscape, one recommendation at a time.
In each episode, one clueless cousin shares real-time reactions as they navigate the twists and turns of a pop culture topic selected by the other.
From travel to movies,
Little Debbie's to trashy novels.
Get ready to eavesdrop on the candid reactions and dynamic conversations you can only have with family.
This is Foreign and Familiar.
Welcome to Foreign and Familiar for this bonus episode. Sarah, twice in 1 week. How lucky am I?
This is crazy. And we're here to talk about one of our favorite topics that we can't stop talking about anyway.
Which is the Eras Tour that we went to in Dublin this summer. We were at night 2 for anybody that's keeping track.
True. So lots of talk about the show, the songs, but most importantly, the outfits.
And we will get into all of it. We don't even have time. Bonus app means it's quick and right to it. We are skipping the snacking. And Sarah, let's just jump right in. It was you, me, cousin husband, and Thomas, who is Eric, our guest podcaster spouse. We all went. We were over in Dublin, right on the floor, right on the pit for the Eras Tour. And I had went into that show and I had not seen anything. I did not watch the Disney movie. I didn't see the North America set. And I was just kind of blown away by the length of the show and just how different every era managed to feel. What was your grand takeaway, Sarah?
Yeah, I think overall, I was just so impressed with all of the technicalities and all of the skill that went into that entire show. I mean, the pyrotechnics, the interactive stage, the backup dancers, singing for 3.5 hours straight. Every part of it was very impressive. And I mean, you know, Sam, I stood there and I sang every song like somebody was paying me to do it without any breaks in between. It was a commitment.
It was a commitment, and you gave the people what they wanted, and you did not get out of the crowd at all. So I would just say we dressed up, we dressed the part. I dressed as Reputation, not because that's my favorite album, but because it aligns with my fashion aesthetic. Sarah did Speak Now for all of the nostalgic reasons she just said, and Thomas did Red. So we will post a picture of that and some of our fun. We have some videos of us singing in the audience. We'll post that up on Faux Fan Pod. I will say just real quick, the two main takeaways that I had is that, number one, the outfits were just stellar and beautiful and made for her. And we, Thomas, Sarah, and I are on a text thread right now. And there is a Google Sheet tracker that tracks every single different variation of whatever era and whatever outfit it is, and then tracks what she wore for each show.
Absolutely. I mean, we have been stalking that Google Sheet since the Eras Tour.
When you look at the designers, it's Vivienne Westwood, it's Roberto Cavalli, it's Versace, it's just beautiful. And I think we have to talk about the Midnight's bodysuit. She wore this bodysuit, so she wears some sort of variation of a blue bodysuit for the last era, which is the Midnight's era, her latest, or 2 albums ago. We got the swirl variety, which we are going to post on the podcast so people can see what the swirl looks like. And it was stunning. It was the most beautiful thing that I think I have ever seen.
With a midnight blue boots, the combination was just, it was so good.
Unbelievable. And since then, she wears the chevron pattern a lot. She wears the cutout patterns a lot. That swirl pattern that we got, she very rarely, if ever, wears. And we know that because we stalk the Google Sheet. And what's funny is if you Google Midnight's bodysuit, you can find shirts with a picture of the bodysuit on it. You can find people knocking off the bodysuit. It's always the swirl one that they're doing. It's never the other one. It's just, It's breathtaking. So we will post that up on the podcast as well. If you are following the outfit tracker, let us know. If you want the link, we will post it. It is fantastic.
Yes, and let us know your favorite outfits too, which of course is the midnight bodysuit, because that's the only correct answer.
Obviously, but I will say, I mean, there are other things. We talked a lot about that lover bodysuit. That's that pink and blue
Yes.
one, which I think is the look of the tour. Either that or the Roberto Cavalli. So Versace did the lover bodysuit. Roberto Cavalli does that Reputation, one arm, one leg. And what's interesting about Reputation is there has never been any other variation. And I know that because I've looked at the spreadsheet.
It's true. It is just that one. Although there is some speculation that the snake is shedding, and when the shedding is complete, that will be the announcement of Reputation TV. But that has been going around the internet for months.
When they showed this snake getting into the Reputation era, you and Thomas looked at each other and were like, the snake is shedding. And you nodded your heads and stuff. And I'm like, what are you guys even talking about in this moment? But again, the only other thing I will say on the outfits, because I will never get over them, is you will notice now, news stories when she debuts a new outfit. The other thing that I wanted to say was that I was actually really surprised. The Tortured Poets department set, which is not what North America got, it is only what Europe got. That to me was so impressive and made me actually start liking the album a lot more. I really felt that was pretty artfully done, and the songs played so much better live than they do on a CD. So I would say I really liked that. And I have gone back and since watched the Disney Plus of the North American tour. The European tour was much better, so I'm glad we did that. Sarah, what were your key takeaways?
I agree. I think I was upset that so much of Folklore and Evermore was cut because I was really looking forward to seeing those live. But I did really enjoy the Tortured Poets Department section. I watched the Eras Tour movie on Disney before we went, knowing that the set list would be completely different because we would be seeing TTPD. So I kind of knew going into it what to expect in terms of what would be there and what wouldn't be there. I liked it more than I thought I would because Tolerate It was such a great song. And the way that they did it on the tour was so good, and I was so sad that it wasn't there, but I guess it made up for it.
That's one for me where I said, I'm good with that being cut. I felt like with Speak Now, to have that be whittled down, it was only ever 2 songs, but to have it be whittled down to 1 song was a lot. And honestly, I understand why she keeps the entire Red era. That's the one that I went to the restroom. So we're all on the floor, and Cousin Husband basically says, after 3 songs, I'm going to go up and I'm going to get a donut and I'm good. You guys enjoy this. And we made a plan that during the Red era, I would go up and go to the bathroom, have a donut with him and spend some time with him. Yeah, that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, I didn't care. I was like, go. I'll see you in 3 hours. I have work to do.
Yes, I have these people are asking me to sing these songs.
Yes.
So
I am needed here on the floor.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yes. And I will say Thomas, to his credit, did not leave the floor either. I was the only one that left. For the surprise song, she sang the Albatross, which is the first time that she had sang that song live. It was off the Tortured Poets department. And she mashed that up with Dancing with Our Hands Tied off the Reputation album. And then the second one, she did This Love from 1989, which was just so good. Oh my gosh. I love that song. That's a really good deep cut. And she mashed that up with Ours from Speak Now. So you got a little Speak Now.
I did, and I was really hoping for the Albatross, and I got that in the surprise song. So that was nice.
I've listened to that quite a few times since then. That was one because, again, for Tortured Poets, she released an entire other album 3 hours later. And I woke up the next morning and thought, oh my gosh, I've listened to 32 songs. Like, that's a lot. So Albatross is very deep on the anthology side of it. but I was glad. And that's really a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I think we also have to mention that yes, Cousin Husband wasn't super interested in Taylor Swift. He was there for the opening act, which was Paramore. And we were all so excited about that too.
Yes, and I would say I saw Paramore do a show here in Chicago where they were headliners in the Chicago Theater. I liked them better in that environment, to be honest with you. And I think that there was a lot of conversation with the lead singer saying to the crowd a lot of you guys have no clue who we are, and we want to introduce ourselves to you. And I'm thinking, like, you guys have been around. Paramore came out when I was first in college. They've been around quite a long time. They are acts in and of themselves. And so I understand recognizing that they are not quite in the mainstream. They are in alt rock, right? They're not quite in the mainstream like Taylor Swift. But I felt like it was just kind of weird to see Hayley Williams, the lead singer of Paramore, who is such a just force. I would say she's such a force. She's very vocal about her beliefs, kind of be kowtowing to, well, nobody in Dublin knows who we are. That was a little bit of a disconnect for me.
I would like to see them separately as a headliner, but I had not seen them at all prior to this. So I was really excited for that first experience. I agree. I thought that was weird. I was like, these people have seen Twilight. They know who you are.
If for nothing else, we know that you're the Twilight band.
Yes. Everyone knows that song.
And what happened was I would see some people in the audience, and maybe they didn't know that all these songs were Paramore, but they knew the song. It's like we were seeing people go, oh yeah, oh no, I know the song. The other side of it was Cousin Husband doing the most. Stood in the merch, went and got us merch while we were on the floor, asked us, what are your sizes? What do you want? I'll get the merch. You enjoy the show. So that was pretty excellent. I will say that.
Yeah, he was a champ because we went to check out the merch line when we first got there and couldn't even find the end of it. And we're just like, that's fine. I'm good. We got our swag when we picked up our tickets. Everything's fine. And he volunteered to go stand in that line. And he did get a shirt for himself, which he wears around the house, and it cracks me up.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And I just think as we sit there and we look at what that experience was, I mean, it was raining cats and dogs that entire day. We had gotten a call from somebody that said they did not have an Airbnb for us. It was literally right across the stadium. And he said, you know what, you guys can have it tonight if you guys want it. So we ended up going up. We were literally, you could see the stadium from the apartment in the sense of, I think we left the house to get in there at 5:19 and we were in through the gates at 5:21, right? I mean, it was so easy, especially after. And it was raining cats and dogs that whole day. Remember, we ordered in Thai food and then we all played hearts. Is it hearts or spades?
I think it was spades, yeah.
So the four of us played spades and it was so nice. And then we were getting ready for, okay, if it's going to rain. I mean, truly, it was so wet. And as soon as she came out, the clouds parted. There was sun. It was beautiful. The weather was perfect. I mean, it was such a great experience. Like, it didn't get lost on me. You know, I was talking to Thomas, talking to you during the show. Like, we're standing here in Ireland. We had standing room on the floor, these VIP tickets, and she's so close to us. We could see her. It was just really awesome. I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah, me too. I think it was a really great experience. And I mean, I don't think that either of us would say that we're hardcore Swifties. We don't go as hard as some people do.
One of us is harder than the other, though.
Yeah.
And that would be you. For sure. And actually, of the three, Thomas is the most.
Yes.
The most.
Yes. So it goes Thomas, me, Sam, Cousin Husband, and he's way far down on that list. We're still not as hardcore as some people are, but I'm so glad that we went. It was totally worth it.
Absolutely. It was for no other reason a cultural moment. And her doing that, I mean, we were standing there for the length of the show. I was tired. I don't know how she does it 3 nights in a row. She's done 200. It was really fantastic. Every era felt different. So I was so glad it was everything that we hoped it to be.
It was.
That is it for this bonus episode of Foreign and Familiar. Thanks for eavesdropping on us.
If you can't get enough of the Cousin Chronicles, head over to Instagram and follow @FoFamPod for more in-depth info and behind-the-scenes details.
Or email us at foreignfamiliarpod@gmail.com.
Foreign and Familiar is a Flynn & Flynn production.
The theme is Colorful by Allerlie